I am going to try my damnedest, and I mean my absolute darndest, not to make a GT ripoff joke right now. What's up, my Gummy Nice, and welcome back to the Echo Chamber. So what we're going to be doing today is getting into the new Dragonball DAIMA trailer. And yes, I get it. I want everyone to understand it. I get it. I made an entire career in YouTube pretty much going forward based off of this man's work. So do not think of what I'm about to say going forward in this video as hatred of any kind. And not to mention, I haven't even seen the product yet, so I can't truly hate, but I can only give my honest opinions. I think that that's what Toriyama would have actually wanted. For us not to sit here and lie, not to sit here and be all, oh, he's the GOAT, he's the GOAT, he's GOATed, and not take his work for what it is. I've always had respect for his work, from the good to the bad, to even the sometimes downright horrendous. In that vein, I'm going to continue an honest opinion on anything Dragon Ball related, because that's all life necessarily can do. Obviously, rest in power, Akira Toriyama, but we still have to recognize that going forward, his legacy can never be tarnished just because a product may be bad that is representative of Dragon Ball. It does not matter, because the empire of legacy that this man has built will never ever be destroyed. It will never ever be decimated. So under no circumstance do I want people to write home and write off my video, as I'm just here on the hate train. Even before Akira Toriyama's passing, when DAIMA was still first being announced, I had my ups and downs with it, but I still acknowledge that there are aspects of it that could be enjoyable, that could be good. And now we've gotten a few material based around what is going to be going on inside of DAIMA. And like I said at the beginning of this, I'm going to do my best to not say a GT ripoff, but you gotta admit, even in that opening, now I get it, that may be a spell or whatever, but it sounds vaguely familiar to something else. Yeah, so as you can see, I'm not just pulling this out of nowhere. I get it. It may be actual magical words. I mean, even later on in the trailer, Supreme Kai says some similar words to that. So I'm not, unaware that that may be just related to the magic and stuff that they use. I get it, Kaioshin, the Makaioshin, all of that can use that type of magic or whatever. However, as far as the animation quality goes, it looks great. The production value on this is absolutely incredible. Now, in regards to what we did have confirmed, it is going to be centered around the Buu Saga. Now that has its share of problems. So I guess we're not going to be getting really introduced to Beerus again, and it seems like Akira kind of wanted to, like I said, pull off a bit of a GT. It seems like what his intentions was with this was to kind of revamp GT. No offense to anyone who may sit there and say, oh, you're just being a hater. I'm saying it looks just like that. The adventure style, the way the animation flows, everyone being children, the fact that it's directly taking part after the Buu Saga, even certain aesthetics of being returned to form in regards to how everything is being set up. It's very much akin to that, and there's not necessarily a problem, but we all know how that turned out. It is the same thing that we have with Broly. You can sit there and say that I'm a hater all you want. I will never agree to that because it's simply not true. But Broly was not as was envisioned of its initial conception. Its initial conception when we first got the drop and everyone was kind of like, ooh, what are we gonna get? We were told that it was a Saiyan and stuff that we never seen before. There was something about the Saiyans that we never seen before, going into more deeper lore and culture, and it's just a revamp of Broly.
So that was a fucking lie.
Like, no offense, I love Toriyama, and I even love the Super Broly movie. I cannot sit here and not be honest with you guys. That's what it was. It was just a rehash. It's very much in the line of trying to say that it's not necessarily original. But don't get me wrong, it's not that Toriyama hasn't done great when it comes to this. And no disrespect to him, again, his legacy will outlast far beyond anything that I could say in this video, anything that is bad as a product. And I know he put his heart and soul into this, and I'm going to give it his fair shot. But I am seeing the writing on the wall, and I don't want those elements that bog down something like GT to plague this. So I'm hoping that even though it has those things inside of it, that if it is a change, it could be something that is still enjoyable as the way that Dragon Ball Super Broly was. However, to sort of finish off this video, because it's not going to really be a long one, it's more like just discussing what we got. Like I said, it's going to take place seemingly after the Buu Saga, which comes with its fair share of problems, given how, you know, the story is unfolding here. You're going to have to say that there was plenty of reasons to mention all of this during Beer. So most likely it's taking place in an alternate timeline in which after Z, maybe even Akira's idea was to go back to the original Z ending. It was like, after Z, the initial Buu Saga, this leads into the original Z ending. Like, this was their last adventure before they hit the original ending. That could be what he was going for. I'm not the man, and so I cannot truly speak on everything. We'll just have to kind of like see. We'll just have to kind of wait and see till October. But I think that that might have been, just from my personal opinion, something that he can go for. It clearly has to take place in a different timeline, because it cannot coincide and match up with the Dragon Ball Super timeline. It just doesn't. Whether aesthetically, whether visually, whether story-wise, plotting, anything, it doesn't really seem to match up, nor does it really seem to have any type of bearing on what would come in regards to having Beerus in them join the fray. So, regardless of that, I think that it's still going to be something that is quite enjoyable. I'm giving it its fair shake, and when October hits, I'm going to be there. Pretty much every episode. And I'm gonna be honest about my opinion on it. In fact, I'm thinking of doing a reaction to the first episode and a potential review over the whole entire series. You guys can let me know down in the comments below if that's something that you might be interested in. I am going to be giving it its fair look. Okay, I'm not going to sit there and judge it before I've truly seen. I can only go by what I'm looking at now. And so with that, we also know that there are going to be transformations, but definitely no Super Saiyan God. And one of the aspects that is kind of like being brought over from that GT era was due to the fact that they're now kids and in younger bodies. Stuff like Super Saiyan 3 may not be something that Goku can do. We do see Super Saiyan, and we also see Super Saiyan 2, but no Super Saiyan 3. So most likely he'll be unable to do Super Saiyan 3, just as he was unable to do it in GT, simply because his body being more older and more developed, he could access that high levels of power, because Super Saiyan 3 not only drains on the stamina, but it also drains on your life force. It's actually something that sort of kills you. And with Goku having so little life now, and so little energy and output, yeah, I can understand why he may not be able to use Super Saiyan 3. Heck, even Goten and Trunks needed to fuse before they could even do it. And even then, it was shortening the span of time in which they can utilize the fusion when they first pulled it off. So I can understand why they would not put that in there. Other than that, we get to actually see the Makayo Shin. And he looks like just an evil version of Shin, okay? Like, it doesn't really look that different. I was kind of hoping to get a little bit something more in terms of the design, but it's whatever. You know, I get it. He's still Supreme Kai, but just of the Demon Realm. We also get a look at some helpers like Pansy and Glorio. We also get to look at some baddie in the back. I'm like, who is this? Please don't tell me that's like Toa's, baby sister back there. Oh, mama. But, we get to see a look at the new villains. We also get to see a look at the new allies. And I can't help but find a distinction between Glorio and Hearts. I mean, particularly in Hearts' design, like after he loses the Heart Seed or the Universal Seed, pretty much his design of this homeless vagrant janitor, that's kind of what Gloria looks like. They look pretty much the same in terms of their overall design, but still, nonetheless, I think that this is going to be fun. I think this is actually going to be great for what it is. Now, of course, reserving all heavy judgments until the actual product comes out. Until then, my Gummy Knights, I will catch you in the next one. Peace. To all my Gummy Knights, new and old, just remember, this is a man's world, but it would be nothing without his brain and his bronze. And lying is indeed the most fun that a woman can have, without taking off her clothes. Good night.